My name is Anthony Rosso. I'm a sixth-year seminarian here at the Venerable English College, and I'll be ordained a deacon in July. And I'm originally from the United States, but now I live in England, and I'm from the Diocese of Leeds. I started to think about being a priest when I was really little, when I was about 6 years old. And it's funny because I never liked going to Mass or going to church or anything like that. And my grandma always used to try to bribe me to go with her to Mass in the summertime at the daily Mass. And she'd always say, I'll take you to McDonald's for breakfast afterwards if you come with me to Mass. And you know, I started going with her for those, you know, those McDonald's pancakes. And it was through you know, those early days going to Mass that, you know, I started to actually feel something more than just, you know, going for breakfast. And one thing led to the next, and I started getting really involved with the parish, and my dad started working for our parish, and I got involved with RCIA and Life Teen. And then when I went to university, I had decided that I definitely wanted to give seminary a chance, so here I am. When I was, you know, discerning whether or not to go to Leeds, that was kind of at the heart of my discernment, because I think when the Church talks about new evangelization, it's you know, we're saying that we need to go back to the basics, to the ABCs of our faith, and these countries that have, you know, a strong Christian history maybe, but the Church has lost a bit of its steam. And so in England, you know, the history there of the Church, you know, has been persecuted for centuries. And today, thank God, you know, we can legally be Catholic in the UK, but there's a massive need for priests, like anywhere in the world. But I just felt that sense of mission to go to England and to be a priest there. And there's so many ways that we can participate and be a part of the new evangelization. It's not just about catechizing and everything. There's also the example that we set for others, the way we act. I think back to, especially here in Rome, back to the days of the early Christians in the city. And one of the reasons so many Romans were converting was because they could see the joy and the example that the Christians were living. And so that's something that we all have to do, to really express that joy for what we believe, like the letter of St. Paul or St. Peter in the New Testament says, you know, always give reason for the joy you have. And that's kind of my motto, you know, try to express that joy. All of the seminarians here at the college have some kind of pastoral work that we do on a regular basis. I've done over the years L'Arche community here in Rome. I've done a soup kitchen with Sant'Egidio in Trastevere, and I teach First Communion class to some kids here in Rome. And I think the one that's really struck me the most, though, was my work that I've done with L'Arche. It's a really incredible organization. Walking around Rome every day on the way to school, and, you know, wearing a collar, you know, you get stopped quite frequently by people asking you about about, you know, what you're doing here, why you, and eventually you start talking about, you know, why you became a seminarian, and sometimes in my conversations with these people, you end up talking about the faith, and one time I even convinced somebody to go to Mass, you know, because she was a lapsed Catholic, and she was really struggling with everything in her life at that moment, and she said, you know, I've had such a nice conversation with you that I think that I'm going to give it a shot. And so that's just an example of things that happen on a daily basis. Working at L'Arche, I was able to, I'm able to go there and really experience something, you know, deeper, because you see in these, L'Arche is a community of people who have disabilities, and it really strikes me when I go there, because you can see Christ in them, you know, and you think, you know, how can people in society try to you know, shove these people aside, you know, because we all have something to learn from them, and being there with them in their community is really life-giving, and I enjoy it very much. Well, I think when I think of suffering in my own life for my faith, obviously it's nothing like the suffering that people in some countries around the world go through, where you can get locked up or murdered for your faith. But I think in the West, all Christians have experienced to some degree some kind of suffering, in the sense that they're kind of shunned by their friends at times, or even their family members, because of their faith. And it's and that is a bit of suffering, when you believe so firmly in something in your heart, but then all of a sudden, your best friends and your family might think you're crazy or you're nuts, for feeling this way. But thank God, for Him and for His gift that He gives us in the Eucharist and everything. We can draw on that strength to get through. I think, for me, just He's the way, the truth, and the light. It's Jesus. And if you have that experience of joy, that experience that comes from a relationship with Him, there's no possible way you can say, I don't want to spread the news about Jesus Christ, because once you know Him and once you have that friendship with Him, there's no going back. It's just it's such a powerful feeling, knowing that you have this relationship. And the fruits and the gifts that come from that. And if you are someone who's experienced that, you've got to share it. There's no way that you can say no. I think you can talk all day long about arguments for the existence of God, or scientific, arguments. But if someone's made up their mind that there's no evidence for God's existence, odds are you're not going to change it. So rather than talking to people about the external ways God might exist, I always think, let's look internally, and ask yourself, okay, I might not believe in God, but is there some kind of longing there? And I find that when I talk to people who don't believe in God and have no faith, once they actually start thinking about that, they actually do say, well, there is something that's missing, something that's innate within us that's drawing us to something that we're just not getting. And so that's what I think about when I'm talking to people with no faith, trying to get them to look within and maybe try to figure out, what is that calling that might be there, but I'm just not recognizing it, or I'm not feeling it for some reason, and try to light that spark. From daily Mass, of course, adoration, the Eucharist, and for a seminarian, priest, religious, anybody, prayer life is so important, because if you lose that, then you might as well say goodbye to it, because it's what gives us our strength. It's what gives us our ability to do what we do, to evangelize, and it's what that's where I receive my strength to keep on going and to do this ministry. I think that there's definitely hope. We have, Jesus Christ as our foundation, as our cornerstone. We have, as long as He's around, then there's definitely hope. Pope Francis talks all the time about how we need to cling to Christ, and to cling to that hope that He gives us. And I think that if you said that there's no hope, then what are you doing?
If you would like to participate in the next program of Cast Out Your Nets, sharing your testimony of apostolate and evangelization, visit our website at www.eukmami.org for more information.